Hello my dear students, let us start our class. Last class we learned scientist explanations theories about the structure of atom. Today we are going to study the findings of Rutherford. Rutherford findings. Ernest Rutherford. The discovery of electron energized the search for finding more particles in an atom. Even though the presence of positive charge has been identified earlier, Rutherford who proved it authentically. He conducted experiment by passing positively charged alpha particle through a very thin gold foil. He conducted experiment by passing positively charged alpha particles through a very thin gold foil. And the alpha particles that comes through the gold foil were allowed to fall on a circular photographic film. Look here. This picture indicates the Rutherford experiment. This picture indicates the Rutherford experiment. He passes the positively charged alpha particles through a very thin gold foil were allowed to fall on a photographic film, circular photographic film. Okay. He substantiated that major portion of an atom is empty. This picture indicates the part of atom. Major portion of an atom is empty and a small part in which positive charge is concentrated. A small part in which whole positive charge is concentrated. Okay, that positive center is known as, or central region is known as nucleus. Nucleus. Okay, whole positive charge is concentrated in a center. That center is known as nucleus. Next, in 1911, scientific world recognized the positively charged center in an atom. 1911, scientific world recognized the positively charged center in an atom. On the basis of further experiment, it was proved that the presence of positive charge is due to the particles proton. The presence of positive charge of nucleus is due to the presence of particles proton. And also find out that, or proved that, its charge is equal and opposite of electrons. Equal and opposite that of electron. Its charge is equal and opposite that of electron. So, its charge is positive charge. Its charge is positive. Next, also find out its mass is equal to that of an hydrogen atom. Its mass is equal to that of an hydrogen atom. Next, Rutherford also find out or proved that there is a presence of neutral particles in the nucleus. There is a presence of neutral particles in the nucleus. He predicted the presence of neutral particles in the nucleus. Okay. Next, we are going to study the findings of scientist James Chadwick. Okay. James Chadwick conducted or learned experiment under the guidance of Rutherford. He proved scientifically that there is a neutral particle in the nucleus. There is a presence of neutral particle in the nucleus and its mass is equal to that of proton. Its mass is equal to that of proton. That neutral particles are known as neutrons. Neutral particle or chargeless particles are known as neutrons. There is a presence of chargeless particles in the nucleus. That particles are known as neutrons. Okay. And the whole mass of an atom is concentrated in the nucleus because the particles proton and neutron that possess masses are in the nucleus. The whole mass of an atom is concentrated in the nucleus because the particles proton and neutron that possess masses are in the nucleus. Also, atoms of all elements are made up with the particles proton, electron and neutron. Atoms of all elements are made up of with the proton, neutron and electron. The difference in number of these particles led to different elements or different types of elements. Okay, let us observe the features of proton, electron and neutron. Let us observe the features of proton, electron and neutrons. Okay, listen here. First we consider electron. Its charge is negative. Then mass is very less. That means 1 by 1837th part of the mass of a hydrogen atom. 1 by 1837th part of the mass of a hydrogen atom. Next point, seen outside the nucleus. Next, proton. Positive charge, mass is equal to that of hydrogen atom. Seen in the nucleus. Last one, neutrons. Chargeless or neutral. Mass is equal to that of a hydrogen atom. Okay, seen in the nucleus. Okay, can you tell me what are the features about proton, electron and neutrons? Can you tell me? Okay, proton, its charge is positive. Mass is equal to that of hydrogen atom and seen in the nucleus. Next, the features of electron is its charge is negative. Mass is very small and seen outside the nucleus. Next, neutron. Chargeless. Mass is equal to that of proton and seen in the nucleus. Next, we are going to study. Can you tell me, even though the presence of electric charges, atom is electrically neutral. Can you tell me the reason? Why atom is electrically neutral? Okay, we know that inside the atom there is a presence of proton, neutron and electron. Okay, the number of proton and electrons in an atom are equal. Or the positive charge and negative charges are equal in an atom or equal inside an atom. That means we know that we call atom is electrically neutral. Next, we are going to study Rutherford. Next, we are going to study Rutherford planetary model of an atom. Rutherford planetary model. Rutherford, through his experiment, proved that atom has a center and whole mass is concentrated in the nucleus. This model was more or less acceptable. Okay, this model is known as planetary model, Rutherford planetary model. And in this model, the parts of atoms are arranged as in solar system. The parts of atoms are arranged as in solar system. Okay, can you tell me about the solar system? Okay, solar system has a center and that center is sun, and planets revolve around the sun in orbits. Planets revolve around the sun in orbits. Likewise, atom has a center. Atom has a center and nucleus is the center. Nucleus is the center and electrons revolve around the nucleus. Electrons revolve around the nucleus in orbits or shell. Okay, this is known as Rutherford planetary model. Atom has a center and that center is nucleus, and electrons revolve around the nucleus in orbits or shell. This model was generally acceptable. On the basis of this model, electrons should collapse into the nucleus even though they loses their energy and while revolving within the field of nucleus. Look here, this picture indicates the Rutherford planetary model, limitations of Rutherford planetary model. Okay, electrons revolve around the nucleus. As they loses their energy, at last the electrons collapse into the nucleus. At last, electrons should collapse into the nucleus. But in the case of an atom, this does not happen. But in the case of an atom, this does not happen. Okay, Rutherford failed to give an explanation to this doubt of scientific world. Rutherford failed to give an explanation to this doubt of scientific world. So this model was eventually discarded. This model was discarded. Okay. What is the reason for this model, Rutherford planetary model, discarded or not accepted? Okay. Electrons should collapse into the nucleus as they loses their energy while revolving within the field of attraction of nucleus. This does not happen in the case of atom. Okay, this model was eventually discarded. Next scientist, Niels Bohr. Niels Bohr gave a better explanation on proposed a new atomic model, or give a better explanation to Rutherford atom model. Okay, the Bohr model is known. Niels Bohr model is known as Bohr model of an atom. Bohr model of atom. By this model, Rutherford proved that electrons revolve around the nucleus in a fixed path. Electrons revolve around the nucleus in a fixed path. That path are known as orbits or shells. Orbits or shells. Or shells. Then next, each shell have definite energy. So shells are also known as energy levels. Each shells have definite energy. So shells also known as energy levels. Next, each shell have a definite energy and its energy remains constant. Next point, the distance increases, energy also increases. As the distance from the nucleus shells increases, energy also increases. Last one, we can number these shells near the nucleus 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. by representing by a letters K, L, M, N, O, etc. etc. Okay, listen here. This is the major ideas of Bohr model of atom. This is the major ideas of Bohr model of atom. Okay, first point, electrons revolve around the nucleus of an atom in a fixed path called orbits or shells. Orbits or shells. Next point, electrons in each shell have definite energy. Hence, shells are also called energy levels. Shells are also called energy levels. Next point, as long as an electron revolves in a particular orbit, its energy remains constant. Its energy remains constant. Next point, the energy of the shell increases as the distance from the nucleus increases. As the distance from the nucleus increases. Last one, the shells around the nucleus can be numbered from near the nucleus as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, etc. or represented by the letters K, L, M, N, O, etc. These are the major ideas of Bohr model. These are the major ideas of Bohr model. By this model, we can draw the structure of an atom. We know that atom has a center. That center is nucleus. Its charge is positive and electrons revolve around the nucleus in a fixed path. That path are known as shells. That path are known as shells. These are shells. And these are shells, and each shell have definite energy, so these shells are also known as energy levels. These shells are also known as energy levels, and each shell have definite energy and its energy remains constant. Next, distance increases. The first shell have low energy and outermost shell electron have higher energy. Outermost shell electron have higher energy. Next, the shells are numbered near the nucleus 1. This shell number is 1 and represented by K. Represented by K. Next shell number 2 represented by L. Third shell M, fourth shell N, and etc. Okay, this is the model of Bohr model, or Niels Bohr proposed atom model. Okay, next here is a work for you. Write the major ideas of Bohr model. The major ideas of Bohr model of an atom. Next, what are the discoveries or findings of Rutherford? What are the discoveries or findings of Rutherford? Next, today this is the time to wind up my class. Okay, continue next class.